Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we aim to connect with each other and with our neighborhood and our city and our state and our country through headlines to find out what's going on out there, what's going on with our city, what's going on with our lives, what kind of projects we are involved in that keeps us busy and healthy and happy. That's what we do here at Coffee and Headlines, and it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure to get together with you every morning, and today is June 29, and it's no exception. How fun it is that here we are in the middle of summer. Well, not in the middle, but it is summer. It is hot and humid, but it rained early this morning. If you are in Puerto Vallarta, you probably, like myself, enjoyed a wonderful thunder shower early in the morning that made things a little bit humid, but still dropped the temperature maybe a degree or two so we can feel a little fresher. My name is Paco, but you already know that. And Fearless Luna is keeping me company this morning. I am, of course, proceeding to add bells and whistles to our mix with trepidation because we don't want the crazy delays to start. But here she is. Hey, look at me. Say hello. Yes, that's you. Anyhow, we are here. We have some interesting news for a change. A major local hotel got shut down, and this was really interesting to read. And there are more monkeypox cases out there, but things look good. We don't need to worry ourselves too much. Anyhow, we have interesting news to share with everyone. But before we do that, we want to, as always, remind you that if you're watching live for the first time and you'd like to say hello, feel free to do so. Feel free to let us know that you are new by writing the word new in your comment. And we'll give you a nice little welcome. And if you have something truly important to share with us, it helps a great deal if you add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment. That way we will take a look at it and respond to it during the comment section in the second half of the broadcast. So let's push the button and get this show on the road. So we start with this very weird news item. Well, it's weird because, well, let me just read it. Two important hotels in town, the Velas Hotel in Marina Vallarta and the Gran Velas in Nuevo Nayarit, have been shut down by Mexico's Institute for Industrial Property for violating copyright law. Apparently, the hotels did not have a proper license from Mexico's Society of Authors and Composers to play and broadcast copyrighted music in common areas and hotel rooms. According to Roberto Cantoral, director of said institute, the Velas Group has been evasive in reaching an agreement, so the institute had no other choice but to act on the demand and confiscate speakers. Yes, that's what the news item says. Um, why the Velas hotels? Why now? Hard to tell. But I would find it strange that only one hotel would be mentioned about this when just about every business that I know in town plays canned music. Now, I'm not a business owner above what we do here. My version of getting my wrist slapped is whenever we try to play copyrighted music here in the broadcast. And of course, um, YouTube doesn't take too kindly for that. But I don't know exactly how it works with other businesses. I don't know if they have to pay for a fee or how it works, but it is unfortunate that it came to this for the hotel. According to the hotel director, Luis Angarita, the negotiations are now underway to remove the clausurado stickers from the hotel, which of course probably don't look very good for hotel guests staying in the properties. Moving right along, two more cases of monkeypox have been reported in Jalisco, one in Guadalajara, and another one here in Puerto Vallarta, bringing the number of local cases to 5. The good news, however, is that neither the monkeypox cases nor the recent increase in COVID. Oh my God, who dumped that big thing? Oh my God, are you a spammer, Carol Casper, or are you just sharing? Oh my God, what on earth was that? Anyhow, thank you for the big comment. Anyhow, the good news is that neither monkeypox cases nor the recent increase in COVID cases have affected reservations in Puerto Vallarta, according to Tourism Bureau Director Luis Villaseñor, who foresees a high number of visitors for the summer months. Just how good a summer can we expect when it comes to reservations? Well, in this other article, Alejandro Torres Magaña, who directs the Hotel Motel Association in Puerto Vallarta, states that current occupation in the city is at around 70% and forecasts that it will increase to over 80% in the coming months, which is, of course, good for our city. Even so, it is important to report we've been talking about vaccines for children, and approximately 75,000 Jalisco children have already been pre-registered to receive their COVID-19 vaccine when it becomes available within the next few weeks, according to State Health Secretary Fernando Peterson, who also indicated that 131 cases of COVID-19 have been registered in Jalisco schools. At the same time, he was quick to affirm that the pandemic is under control, which I'd like to believe is true. But there's a lot of cases out there, so we know what we have to do to stay safe. Now, representatives of the Emiliano Zapata Neighborhood Associations have announced that they will reach out to city administration to do something about an increasing problem on Insurgentes Street as you approach the new and newly dented bridge, and that problem is speeding. According to Benjamin Martin Nunez of the association, speeding drivers attempt to avoid red lights as far back as Basilio Vadillo and crank their accelerator and speed as they approach the bridge, which has already resulted in a couple of accidents. He was also quick to mention the fact that some people seem to take that stretch of Insurgentes Street as a racetrack late at night, which, of course, I don't live in that neighborhood, so I couldn't attest to that. But I'd be curious to hear some of your comments to that effect so that we can have a better picture of what's going on. Speaking of what's going on, let us take a quick look at the weather, and then we continue with the rest of our headlines. Everyone knows it's not a real insurrection if its leader can't even commandeer the presidential limo from the Secret Service so he can attend. Oh, that is a major hint to what went on yesterday on the public hearings north of the border, but that's neither here nor there. What's important here is our weather. 25 degrees feels like 28. It is drizzling according to this map, and it was drizzling just a few minutes ago. Humidity is at 81%, and our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 77. Our weather forecast for today, Wednesday: rain until morning, starting again in the evening with a high of 32 and a low of 24. Tomorrow, Thursday, possible light rain in the evening with a high of 32 and a low of 24. And Friday, humid and mostly cloudy through the day with a high of 31 and a low of 24. And that is our weather forecast for you folks to take into account. Moving right along, a quick and dirty for folks living in Palmar de Aramara, another street, Mar del Sur, joins the increasing number of streets in the colonia that have been paved with hydraulic concrete. And good for you if you live in that neighborhood. Let us hope that along with better pavement, you also got better plumbing systems and drainage systems so that when it rains too much, the water knows where to go and not accumulate. Now, this one is fun, at least for some of us. As it turns out, Guadalajara will host, or rather co-host, the GayGames, but not the ones we thought of. Last year, we recall that Guadalajara was one of the candidate cities to host the GayGames in 2026, but the committee ended up selecting the Spanish city of Valencia. Meanwhile, the 2023 games, that is this coming year's games, will be co-hosted by both Guadalajara and Hong Kong. The Gay Games are the Olympic Games organized by the LGBTQ plus community, and they take place every 4 years. And why have them in 2023 and then 2026, which is 3 years later? My hunch is that the games that are going to take place this coming year were supposed to take place this present year, but I couldn't tell you. I'm not involved in the committee. What I can tell you is that they will take place between November 3rd and 11th of next year. They are expected to bring approximately 24,000 people to Guadalajara from over 50 different countries with an estimated revenue of 600 million pesos. This will be the first time that the Gay Games take place in Mexico and all of Latin America for that matter, and I am sure the Cardinal is cringing, but that's not our problem either. And speaking of cringing, Airbnb is setting their foot down when it comes to folks organizing parties in the units that they rent, and owners allowing this to happen as well. The company started suspending guests last year, but apparently has established more explicit policies in their documentation such that you cannot have more than 16 people over, even if the owner of the property has authorized such a gathering. And if you are busted, you are suspended from the platform, regardless of whether you are a property owner or a renter. So if you were planning on a fabulous party at an Airbnb venue, you cannot have it anymore. Bummer. Let's take a quick look at your comments just to see what everybody's up to. Lots of good mornings as always, and I appreciate those very much. T-minus 7 days and I will be back home in El Centro. Good for you, Jill. Keep counting those days. I'm happy to see that you are getting closer to your return. Kelsey says, gay male. No, I'm just kidding. Kelsey says, good morning. But clearly, Kelsey hasn't had enough coffee to type entire words. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Patty's happy. I got a negative yesterday. Feliz miércoles to all. That's good to hear. Alan is dealing with daughter and hubby in COVID jail. Left the package on doorstep and scurried away like a little girl. I would have loved to see that filmed. And I hope that your daughter and her husband have a quick recovery. Yeah, you look like you're almost back to 100%. Well, yes, I am almost there. I'm still a little congested, but then again, being congested is part of my regular way of being. Although I must say, my sense of smell seems to be coming back to normal. And I don't need to get into details, but last night something happened while I was lying in bed, and I looked at Luna and I said to Luna, "Was that you or was that me?" And Luna just kind of looked at me and said, "It was you, bitch." uh, let's see. Carol Casper, I don't know who you are, but, don't dump big news copy paste like that in our comments. Please consider yourself gently warned. You do that again, you will be removed from the operation, just like Airbnb guests. Let's see what else we have. Thank you for that report, Marie. I am still trying to get this figured out. Um, let's see. Oh, Alan gets snarky. I love it. Bring back the cobblestones and speed bumps. Well, we're damned if we're cobblestoned, and we're damned if we are paved. All I can tell you is that it is unfortunate that people cannot respect the speeding laws, and I wonder what is going to happen with that situation. Ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. Another negative test. Yay. Let's see. Felix says, came to PB last Thursday and had a positive test on Sunday. I'm in COVID jail. Oh no. Until I am well enough to fly. I am so sorry to hear that, Felix. Um, it was, it was, it was, it is one of those things. I mean, it's like, it's crazy. I see more or hear of more people testing positive now than ever before, and yet it's not supposed to be a big problem. I'm just happy that most of the cases that I hear about are really, really mild. Daniel says, it was you, bitch. Luna, Paco, you are punchy today. I love it. Well, I mean, if you were Luna and you were subjected to, well, I know my strengths and weaknesses. And let's just say that Luna and I have an intimate relationship in that regard. How could we not live together? Rod says, you appear to be nearly back to being normal. Can tell your energy is way up as usual for you. That's great. Looking forward to some of your walks in the next few days. Oh, trust me, Rod, I am just itching to get out of the house. Yesterday, I went out and I ran some errands. And in doing so, I was extremely careful and extremely self-conscious of everywhere I went. I had to go get some buttons to affix to some new crocheted collars that I put together while I've been convalescing. And I went to the supermarket. Yes, I went into Walmart. So if you saw me out there, you probably saw me all bundled up and covered. And I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And but it's I'm very self-conscious of the fact that I had this thing that is very contagious, and I'm probably not contagious anymore, but I cannot help myself. I may go get tested today or tomorrow just because I have all these things that I want to do over the weekend. Dan asks me, Paco, have you seen the third season of The Umbrella Academy? Loved the Footloose segment. Well, let us not spoil anything for anyone, Dan. My answer to you is yes. I actually took advantage of the fact that I was stuck at home, and I went back and binged on the entire first season and the entire second season, and I loved revisiting all these characters in this very quirky science fiction absurd television series available on Netflix. How wonderful it is. I mean, how can you go wrong when the bad guys in the series are named Cha-Cha and Hazel, and they wear uniforms? It is absolutely precious. And to cut to the chase, yes, I have seen the first and second episodes of the third season, and the Footloose segment was absolutely absurd and wonderful, and anyone should consider this series for binging. Um, and let's see what else we have. Masks were not removed because government thought we wouldn't get sick, but because no longer care if we do. I am not sure that I understand that one, but it doesn't have a Q, so it's probably not directed at me. Any abnormal fatigue after your errands? Oh, yes. Yes, I find that I have to take it slow, but this could be lethargy, it could be my recovery, it could be the fact that I'm a little overweight, it could be a number of things. All I know is that I'm trying to keep my day-to-day plans not very ambitious and trying to take the best possible care I can of my body. Let's see. I think we are pretty much. By the way, Daniel comments on what goes up in the United States about having to pay for royalties and rights to play music. Um, that is very interesting to read. Thank you very much. And this brings us to the end of today's broadcasts. I am, as always, grateful for your company, for your questions, for your comments, and I am grateful for an increased sense of health here at Coffee and Headlines headquarters. As always, thank you very much for watching. Thank you so very much for supporting. And thank you for being part of this community. It means a lot to both Luna and me. Stay happy, stay kind, stay healthy, stay patient, and continue wearing your face mask. It really makes a difference. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again tomorrow.